Hey guys, so yesterday these new photos dropped from the official Rings of Power Twitter page, and I just have to talk about them because I think that it ties in with my other video. Could they have given us any more generic images? Like, seriously, could they have distanced themselves any further from imagery that most Lord of the Rings fans would recognize or consider to be Tolkien? Like, this is a perfume ad. It is. Now, don't get me wrong, she's lovely. It's a lovely shot. I have nothing against this shot, but it says nothing about Tolkien at all. If I showed this to someone without any context, I'd be willing to put money on the fact that they'd say it's an ad for perfume or something, and that she's some kind of Instagram influencer who hiked up a mountain to stand there for 10 minutes and then went back to her hotel. Like, that's all this is, some stage shot that would fit any context other than Tolkien, unless you were told it was a Middle Earth character. And I have to wonder, why on earth would they post something this bland? I mean, you can see here the Fellowship of the Fans, whom I talked about yesterday. They're asking, where is Celebrimbor? Yeah, where is he? And every other important player from the Second Age. Or where's politician Elrond? Or warrior Galadriel? They've been the characters selling the show, or so they say, so why didn't they give us more promotional material of them? And I think the answer is they want to, one, downplay recognized characters, because remember, this girl is fabricated. She was made up by the 20 writers Amazon has working on this one show because, as Gary from Nerdrotic said, Tolkien didn't create enough in his own pantheon. They have seen the backlash. I do believe that they are aware of how deeply this is being rejected. And I think they don't want to give anyone too much fuel for the fire because I can only complain about an Instagram post for so long. And two, they're essentially saying, Tolkien fans, this isn't made for you. We're not going to give you anything that truly represents Tolkien because we don't want or need you here. Because it's not made for hardcore or even to a certain extent normie fans. You know who this is made for? People like this. People who think that Tolkien ripped off, or J.K. Rowling, ripped off Tolkien. Now, I don't know if this was ever established as a joke, because the fact that they deleted it after they got roasted makes me think it's real. But they want people who don't even know that The Lord of the Rings is a book series that has been around since the 60s. Because trust me when I say, I have met many people who don't know who Tolkien is. There are many people out there who think things like Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, other popular fantasy, series are things that are made up by film studios, that they're new creations out of film writers' heads, not authors. They don't realize there's this deep written mythos, and those are the people I think Amazon is banking to show up. They're not the only ones who will show up, but I think that they're a large majority. So, why such a bland photo? Because this is an indication that this show will have very little to do with Tolkien's world, which I know, shocker. But, it'll give people, enough of a nudge to be like, oh yeah, that's coming out. People who don't know who Tolkien is or Lord of the Rings. But on the other side of that coin, they are making sure to give those of us who are rejecting this work as, to work with as little as possible. Because the more bland you keep it, the quicker the news cycle moves on and people forget. Now, this other image, this one right here. Is he holding Narsil? I don't see how that'd be possible, because that'd mean we're already going through the end of the Second Age and starting the Third Age, which, they're compressing the timeline, but you can't get to that point in the first season. There are 4 more, so I have no idea which sword this is, but again, I think this is slightly deliberate. This is a means of getting the normie of the normies drawn in, because you know what this image is reminiscent of? This. I mean, look at it. Same wonder, same sense of reverence. This image is meant to convey the importance of a sword to a journey, etc. This is not this is a very common trope in fantasy writing, which again makes what they're doing generic. They're just recycling themes. And by evoking similar imagery, they can draw those normies in, because look at the original poster for this sword. So there's that. Now look at this. I mean, come on. This is deliberate. They know what they're doing. They're invoking something. So they know that those of us deep cut people can look at these images and say, really? But they also know that they'll get John Smith interested. There's nothing really else to say other than that. The others have commented on how these two are part of the, diversity quota, the diversity agenda. But for me, the iconography of what these two pictures are doing is also very telling, because one is exceedingly bland and the other is just generic fantasy enough that it'll get John Smith and Jane Doe interested, who have probably seen Lord of the Rings all of once and never thought about it again. They're just looking for another Game of Thrones. That's it. So let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Let me know what you think of these two pictures and why they chose to show off two made-up characters rather than Celebrimbor or Gil-galad or any others. Please like, share, and subscribe. All those good things. It's much appreciated, and I will talk to you guys on the next one. Bye!